If I ask you what was your profit last month or the last quarter, would you be able to tell me? Or would you know by any chance? Likely chances are most of the dentists won't know this figure. And they usually, most of the time, are tracked through the money in the bank or the cash in the bank. Cash in the bank is not your real profit. I can assure you that as a starter. But today, what we are trying to do here is trying to fix this fundamental problem. And that's a mindset change and it's a practice change. So you need to start practicing, start tracking your profitability either monthly or quarterly. And how you're going to do that? That is very, very simple. No spreadsheets are needed. No accounting jargons are needed. I will speak very clearly and help you through. So let's start. Before anything else, the very first thing that we need to understand is where we are or where you are as a business. And that is checking the pulse, right? The pulse is important. And what is your pulse? There are three things that you need from my point of view or from any point of view. You need to have your monthly revenue figure, you need to have your operating cost figure, and you need to know how much drawing or salary that you take from your business. These three numbers will tell you a whole story, but you got to have these numbers at first. This is the pulse. This will tell you that if your business can support your lifestyle. The second step is a lot easier than you think, and most probably you know it already. So as in the first step, I said you need to have your monthly revenue and a number that tells you about your operating cost. So we already have these two numbers. So let's make it easier. So I want to know what is the profit of my practice this month or this quarter. Easy. I have the revenue number and I have the operating cost. I take revenue, deduct operating costs, and I am left with the profit. Let's suppose the revenue of the firm 85,000, correct? And the cost of running the practice that particular month was 63,000. So what are we left with? 22,000. Absolutely right. So that is your profit. And that money may not be sitting in your bank. Maybe it could be more or less, but that is the profit figure that we need to remember. Now you have your profit figure. And the very important step that most of the people will miss, especially in the dental practices, is understanding the chair time utilization or per chair profit. Let's say you have 4 chair surgery, right? And you had a profit of 22,000, correct? Correct. So if on a broad scale, if you want to understand what is your per chair profit, it's very simple. 22,000 divided by 4 chair that we agreed. So that gives you 5,500 per chair, correct? So that number is very important to have as a starting point. We will later on, we can break it down further, but at this point of time, it's important that you know it, that each chair in your practice is producing 5,500. And then we can start digging deeper into these numbers at later stage. But these are just basics and fundamentals, and they have to be right before we take the next advanced steps. Do you think your practice has profit leaks? Every practice has, every business does. So I'm pretty confident that your practice must have some profit leaks. And the profit leaks are usually very, very quiet. They are rarely loud and they compound over time. How to identify profit leaks? You got to start looking at your numbers and you will start spotting them very, very quickly. The plan is not just to identify them, but to take corrective action. And for that reason, we will take tiny baby steps. You can identify 5 or 6 profit leaks, but you're not gonna fix them all in one go. We try to identify one or many and fix one in any given month, right? We don't want to overburden ourselves. And what are those profit leaks? I haven't told you about that. If you want to know, and if you haven't identified them yet, profit leaks could come from a number of sources. It could be, your overspends on material, a rushed associate contract, or underpriced treatments. Inefficient diary could be one of the reasons. So there are many, many reasons for these things. So keep an eye on these things. Profitability isn't a finish line. It's a rhythm. Each month, check your pulse, track your true profit, look at the profit per share, and fix just one leak. Small steps create big stability. When you start understanding your profitability, you stop guessing and you start making decisions with clarity. The stress level gone down. And finally, you can start building a practice that genuinely supports your life. Have a good day.